women issues, President Jammeh once again hailed Gambian women for spearheading the fight against poverty, saying they are always working in the fields, in the sea and markets. He said plans are on the way to enact a law that will give women more rights in their matrimonial homes. The women are usually divorced and driven by their husbands. The law, President Jammeh said, will give women a share in their husband's property in the event of a divorce. On social issues, Professor Jammeh emphasized his zero tolerance to homosexuality, but that anybody caught practicing such immoral and unnatural behavior will be severely dealt with. Homosexuality, he continued, is totally against our religion, values, and culture, with the potential to incur God's anger on any nation that condones it. The president also warned that he will take a very hard line against armed robbery and advised foreigners residing in the country to be abiding or face the consequences of any criminal activity. On the death penalty, President Jammeh swore to enforce the penalty on anyone convicted of murder by a court of law. He accused the West of hypocrisy and double standards for their criticism against the country for enforcing the laws of the land, saying they are guilty of more heinous crimes against Muslims in the name of fighting terrorism. He finally said that as President of the Republic, he will never condone impunity by dancing to the tunes of Western governments or their human rights organizations. On a final note, President Jammeh appealed to Gambians to be each other's keeper, work and help each other in order to foster the spirit of brotherhood and Gambianism. He said that Gambians are more keen on helping foreigners than their countrymen, and this he observed has had negative consequences, as this has given foreigners an advantage over Gambians. This, President Jammeh added, has also allowed foreigners to exploit Gambians, proliferate crime and other vices inimical to social well-being. The president ended his speech with an appeal to all Gambians to shun tribalism, saying it will not take us anywhere. In a rather magnanimous gesture, the president surprised the school children in the North Bank region with a donation of $600,000 to be shared among the schools. The tour continues Tuesday with a meeting at Kawur and a brief stop at Nyangen before proceeding to Janjambure for a night stop. Mamadou Diallo, reporting from Central River Region for GRTS.
Cadet Ali Sumbundu of the Gambia Armed Forces is set to leave Banjul for the United States of America after bagging a 4-year scholarship to study at the U.S. Air Force training base in Colorado. Abubakar Senghor reports Sumbundu, a former student of Nusrat Senior Secondary, has set his sights on successfully completing his studies and returned to serve his country.
Sumbundu is set to join an elite band of Army officers to benefit from a study package to undergo Air Force training in the United States. Cadet Sumbundu, a young Gambian soldier and a former science student of Nusrat Senior Secondary School, will become the first Gambian to benefit from the 4-year Air Force training course sponsored by the government of the United States of America.
I salute your effort. These things aren't easy to get, these scholarships. Very, very competitive. I don't think more than a dozen non-Americans are chosen every year. The fact that you have made it is a result of your hard work, of your dedication, of your potential to develop in the future.
With an annual high number of 12,000 applicants hoping to gain admission in the elite Air Force based in Colorado, Cadet Sumbundu's imminent induction into the group makes it more special for the Gambian Army officer. Ambassador Alford therefore urged Cadet Sumbundu to serve as a goodwill ambassador of the country and challenged him to exploit the opportunity he is accorded, given the rarity of such a package.
The education you receive there, the friendships you make there, the discipline you learn there will serve you well in your life.
A cheerful and visibly elated Cadet Ali Sumbundu assured the Gambia Armed Forces and the entire citizenry a very promising outcome at the end of his 4-year spell in the United States.
The fighter jets, you need them to be flying. So I'm going for that. That is what I'm going to tell you. Inshallah, in 2017, you will see a complete pilot here.
The promising soldier marked his time in school with an outstanding result, bagging 9 credits while at Nusrat Senior Secondary School. His impending travel to the United States on June 16 for a 4-year Air Force training might be a significant moment in his life, but this young man has set himself significant targets too, and the crowning moment will solely come at the end of his training program at the elite Colorado Air Force Base. With the government of the Gambia under the leadership of President Jammeh continuing its drive to modernize the army, this particular move is expected to place those efforts in good stead. For GRTS News, this is Babukar Senghor.
A 5-day sub-regional forum on microfinance operations and regulations kicked off in Banjul. The forum, organized by the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management in collaboration with the Central Bank of the Gambia, seeks to aid regional participants with requisite knowledge and skills to effectively boost microfinance performance towards improved poverty alleviation and economic development. Babakar Kamara has details in this report.
Institute economic and financial experts drawn from 6 YFM member states, taking part on a 5-day sub-regional course on microfinance operations and regulations.
Microfinance is the provision of a broad range of financial services to low-income micro-enterprises and households who are not served by the conventional financial institutions.
Specifically, the course will enable you participants to learn innovative strategies in leadership and management of microfinance institutions, upscale your skills in microfinance operations.
With microcredit scheme conceptualized in the early 70s by Asian countries aiming to alleviate rural poverty that currently accounts for 63% worldwide poverty, reaching 90% in some countries. YFM's being as a macroeconomic, debt and financial institution has trained a remarkable constituent of economic experts to drive its ambition.
There is an important link between economic growth and poverty reduction. Studies confirm that sustained economic growth of 7 to 8% per annum, that is inclusive, is the most effective and efficient means of reducing poverty.
At the end of May 2013, over 12,260 participants and officials in the public and private sectors of the economy have so far benefited from the Institute's program.
As participants gather to enhance their understanding of the features, operations and contributions of microfinance institutions to the financial intermediation process, the course is envisaged to sharpen their skills to shape better economic development and poverty alleviation in West Africa. Babakar Kamara, Grts.
Over 30 women CAFOs in the West Coast region have benefited from a low-interest loan scheme courtesy of the Combo Central APRC Women Empowerment Association. The group marked its 4th year anniversary in Marrakech with the loan disbursement exercise. For the Jase tells us more.
Combo Central APRC Women Empowerment Association has recently disbursed over $300,000 to 30 women CAFOs. The money, which was given as a soft loan to the various CAFOs in the Combo Central constituency, has just 5% interest attached to it. As Lady Councillor Sifai Hydra explains, the rationale behind this is to initiate easy payment of loans whose funds were dominantly generated by the women themselves.
It is our fund. We don't want to give it to the women groups whereby we will generate a lot of interest and they will not be able to utilize that loan to also benefit from it. So we reduce our loan interest from 7% to 5% so that they too will give it, the women groups also will use those monies at their level.
The governor of West Coast Region spoke of the significance of the Combo Central Women's Loan Initiative, adding it is in itself a positive step towards sustainable development.
And this year, you can see that they are able to mobilize $300,000 from the sales of the Asobis with the CAFOs, and we are able to make some profits because more than about $100,000. They bought 3 bulls, inject themselves, and at least giving them some loan schemes and also cooking for themselves here. So I'm really more impressed because this again will try to alleviate poverty. At the same time, could also encourage sustainable development.
The women also hailed the efforts of the president at empowering the women folk to take up such microfinance enterprises.
Because the president is the one who will always tell us to really believe in ourselves, to have that self-esteem that you can do it, to discourage the syndrome of begging all the time. So with that in mind, I said to the women, let's try to do something. Then I went around all the villages within Combo Central and the Kabilos in Brikama. I sold the idea to them that we can raise funds.
Bintu HK Fati of the Women's Bureau commended the Combo Central APRC Women's Wing whilst urging other women to emulate their move.
If everybody can emulate from what Anticipy has been doing, I think women empowerment is something that we already achieve because we achieve it. But it is still now people are saying women need to be empowered, women need